Hi y'all, my name's Jamila and this is Jamila Creates where we create beautiful things. So welcome back to my channel. Today I have a pattern review on the Silva top. Initially I picked this because I thought it was similar to the pattern that I sell on my website. You can check that in the link down below, but on further inspection, the Mood Silva has a few differences, particularly in what kind of fabric you use. They don't encourage the use of stretchy fabric except for a technique done on the back that you'll see, a smocking technique, but you can take it and change it a little. And so, using drafting techniques that I'll show you in this video, I'm not going to show you the finished product from that though, because I have yet to finish it myself. Everything's sewn together, but there's a decoration on the center front that I'm really excited about that I want to do. But I'll show you adapting that pattern a little bit to work with you, because I know that the sizes on my pattern aren't the biggest range. So I'll have that for y'all to look at, as well as a review of the pattern overall. And I'm going to make just a regular top with the pattern as intended. So let's get to it. So the first thing I did was I decided to trace on some paper the thumbnail of the pattern, or the flat sketch, and just show on one side of it the changes I was going to make. And so what we want to do is change the fabric of it. I forgot to do this and I ended up with something really big, but you'll see. But I'm just changing the straps here to make it a little bit more like my pattern, making it a little longer as well. Again, just to make it more like what I had. And I think I made some other changes, but we'll see as we go. So next I'm just tracing the original pattern on clear tracing paper in my size, because I'm making these changes in my size and you can make them in your size easily. I'm making sure to mark each of the original places, keep up with my lines, and keep the center, front, and sides the same. But as I do this, I am going to be making the changes that I want in the pattern. And because this is a center front, but it has a piece over it, it only really needs to be elongated. It doesn't need any of the other changes. So I'm just doing that on the tracing paper here. And I'm writing down the measurement I'm elongating it from, or how many inches I'm adding to the hem. And I'm going to use that on the back. This is the top piece, and I'm just going to trace it over in my size and use the original strap to merge the strap onto it. And you'll see how I do that in a minute, but I'm also making sure to match up the my sizes again so that the strap isn't too long or anything. I'm just figuring out how to merge all the back pieces into one piece by overlapping them at my size of the seam line and tracing over it. And then I'm also going to take the strap from earlier and have the back half of it be attached as well and kind of curve it inward. Um, as you're doing this, I didn't show it on mine because I messed up, but if you're using knit, take a couple of inches from the center pieces. I tried the side seams later, but it looks funky. So just take some inches from the side, from the center front and center back, and it should be more fitted to you. Also, and this is very important when you're putting the pattern together, and I think I'll show this later, but just in case I don't, this is all before, on the original pattern, it's all before you're supposed to start smocking. So it's going to be huge. It's going to be 50% too big. So what I did is I just took from the middle of the new pattern and divided it by two to put the center pieces in, and then divide that number by two and went the new number to the left and the new number to the right. And then just got rid of all that bulk in between by folding it out, by cutting it and having it overlap on the line. All right, so I have all my pieces cut out. I had to be a little creative. I'm honestly running low on stretch fabric from this week and last week, but I think what I'm going to do now is unpin everything and serge all my edges because it's getting really fluffy in here and I'm not a fan. Oh, also for the back piece, I'm beginning to see the wisdom in why they had like 3 separate pieces. I barely had enough fabric for this. But as for the back piece, I made a few alterations to the strap. I made it like flow into the back more. And I also made this more of a back neckline. I think I like it better, a little bit higher, but also like a little bit more substantial. Also, I'm gonna curve this some more before I take everything out. But yeah, this is what I have so far, and I'm just going to cut it, serge it, and sew it together, and then I'll get back to y'all with the results. This is way too big, but we're almost there. I pinched it in at the sides and realized that I have to take about 3 inches, well, technically 6 inches in on each side. That happened because A, I'm using stretch fabric, and it clings more than what the pattern calls for, and B, I sized up one, which I probably shouldn't have done, so I'm just going to hop on my serger and do that. And while I'm at it, I'm going to reattach the top and the back here because the straps were also way too big. And I'll make those adjustments on my pattern, and then we'll see what the final result is. It's kind of too bad that I had to waste all that fabric and had such a hard time finding fabric that fit if I'm just going to do that. So whenever you find something like that, make sure to mark it on your pattern piece. Judge this a little unfairly, trying to turn it into a knit. When it says nothing about knit, I believe it's for a woven, so I'm going to try it in a woven. And I'm going to go for a size 12 here, just because I think that averages down to 10 or 8 in my size range. And I'm gonna keep it pretty similar to this. Again, I think I want thick straps, but you've seen me draft that, so I'm not gonna bore you with that. You've seen me put the back together, so I'm just going to do that all over again in a new size. I was thinking about just doing that in, just grading what I had in Illustrator, but I think it'd be easier to just do it all over again, to be honest. I don't have a size chart for smaller. I mean, I have this one, but it's not my size chart. Once you get up to these are not my size chart at all. I put myself at 14 to 16. This puts me at a 20. So, I mean, that's just me as an example, but that just means that the whole thing it's correct, but it's not my brand's correct, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this in a 12, and that will translate as an 8 or something like that. I'll double check my, I'll have to redo my size chart, but that's easier than doing that and grading. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that, and with the same method of tracing, I just noticed that the parchment paper I've been using is compostable. Love that for me. So it's the same as what I did before, so I'm not going to film it just because this will take forever if I do, but you'll see what I do to make the back work. It'll all be one piece again, but you'll see how I do that without actually having to shirr, which there are tutorials on shirring, and I know how to do it. It's just I don't like to, I don't want to. So we're gonna take something that's pre-shirred and pretend. Oh, I guess I do have to film doing the back, because it takes away 50%. Nah, just know I'm gonna draft it, then chop it in half. Alright, so I'm not sure if you can see it too well, but I have this dress. It's for a little girl, but it's got a huge skirt, and I love the pattern on it, so we're gonna work with it. Yeah, so instead of using this pattern, I found that it was a little too tall. This is what I adapted from the pattern. I think normally it'd be fine, but it's just a little tall in this case. So I'm just going to take the whole front of this and turn it into the back. What I'm going to do is cut between here and here so that the seam is still holding the front smocking together in case I want it. And then I'm just gonna cut this part free and put all my patterns onto the skirt. And then I'm gonna sew it up and tell y'all my thoughts on using this pattern for something a little bit, well, just my thoughts on adapting this pattern in particular. Okay, so I have yet to sew on the back yet, but I do have the front assembled. Normally I would suggest doing this a little bit differently in that instead of doing this and this, I would have it open and like sandwich this in here, but I just wanted to continue my through thread of the silver thread because I thought it was thematic and pretty. I love this. I think I really missed an opportunity with how I did my last one. I think I did this part backwards or something, but it could just be that it just isn't my size or that switching it to knit messed everything up. So yeah, I might do this again, but I am falling behind on my other stuff because I'm making hundreds of tank tops. Like, I might be overdoing it. But so far, I am really impressed with this pattern. So I'm going to finish it, and then it'll be on my store. Hey, just popping in because I never waste makeup. Also, because I wanted to show you this tank that is in progress. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it is adapted from that same pattern. This doesn't quite fit. I should have added more here. I'm not done with it yet though. I did add more here just for some more coverage. I think personally that if you're plus size, my pattern that I made makes a little bit more sense because again, or as I'll say at the end, they're kind of different patterns. I also put a little strap in the back. Now this isn't done because none of the edges are finished, but also I want to put a little decoration right here. So I'm still working on that, but once it's done, I'll show it to y'all. As you can see, I finished this. I really like it. I think it's a little loose in front. That may be how I did the weaving, though. If I had followed the directions, I'm sure it would have been better, but I really like it. I love this fabric right here in this pattern. And my final thoughts on it are that this kind of thing, you know, it's a little different than the pattern I made, even though the patterns are on paper, they look the same, but this one is more like for something that's like a woven corseted front. But it can definitely be adapted to be like the pattern that I made. You just have to size down 2 or 3 sizes or take some from the center front to make it like too tight so that's stretchy, but I think it fits well and I just really, really like this pattern. So that's how this turned out. Anyway, this is the reveal. I'm not gonna do like a special video to sound because it doesn't fit me, but this will be for sale on my website. Thanks, please like and subscribe, and next time hopefully we'll be doing a button down, another mood pattern. I'm into mood patterns lately, with a button down and a matching little scarf for my dog. All right, happy sewing. Bye.